of course, the people that also went for this test are people that have burden of proof. It's not something that is a national sampling.
Yeah.
So we cannot take it as a reflection of a national research. But I think that problem is
we
there
have a relationship expert joining us on this discussion. So joining us via Zoom now for more discussion on this is the relationship, marriage and family therapist, Boluwatife Victoria Abiodun. I greet you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, esteemed viewers.
Yeah. So what can you tell us regarding this subject matter?
Okay, so I believe that the rising trend of paternity fraud clearly shows that something is deeply wrong in the foundation of many marriages today. And it starts with the breakdown of trust, honesty, and proper communication. You see, I would say that out of 100% of people we have in the world today, just like 60% would attend what we call premarital counseling. And most people don't even know that aside premarital counseling, we have what we call premarital therapy, which is supposed to create a safe space, to help these couples to be able to discuss these deeper conversations. Most women do not discuss these conversations because they believe that, out of fear of losing the relationship, maybe some of them have been waiting for years, to get married. And now that they finally found the one, they decide that, oh, you know what, let's just hide this this little secret. So premarital counseling, premarital therapy is supposed to create that safe space for them to discuss these things. And I believe that this is one of the issues that we have today. Many people don't even believe in getting counseling or being counseled. They're just so invested in getting married, preparing for the wedding, planning the wedding, paying for all of those things, where they're supposed to seek wise counsel from the right people.
Okay, so what does this rising trend of paternity fraud say about the state of trust and honesty in Nigerian marriages today?
Okay, so in many Nigerian marriages, people are entering union without full emotional, spiritual, or even medical transparency, right? Some couples do not have deep conversations before getting married. They are either rushing because of age, family pressure, financial reasons, and as a result, secrets are carried into the marriage, and these secrets eventually come to light in very painful ways. And what I believe is that paternity fraud is not just about the child. It's a loud symptom of a bigger issue. It's about deception, right? Deception happens when trust is not cultivated. People think that, oh, there is trust where you're just having conversation with a person, but then for trust to exist, there has to be that safe space for vulnerability. So some people don't, if you ask, as a counselor, when I ask couples, how well do you trust your partner? I have funny answers, 50%. And I'm like, oh, why are you actually getting married? If you're saying 50%, you should actually, trust your partner 100% because this is somebody you're going to get married to and you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So when people are afraid of rejection or when they feel they cannot be honest with their partner and still be accepted, they withdraw these things. And, we also have to be honest. Some women conceal paternity out of fear. Like I said before, fear of losing the relationship because of, oh, my parents are pressurizing me. I'm 30. I have to get married. Time is running out. Menopause is knocking at the door. And fear of stigma or fear of being labeled. What would the society say? That at this age, I am not married yet. And most of them have a very terrible past. Right? They believe that they cannot find somebody that can accept them with that past, right? And that fear grows in a society that often puts pressure on women to produce a child at all costs, while also not encouraging deep conversations about these past mistakes.
So, Tife, are you saying that a lot of the men know that their husband, a lot of the women actually know that their husbands cannot get them pregnant? Maybe they have low sperm count or other conditions that ensure they cannot make their wives pregnant. Are you saying the women, conscious of this fact, would then go and get someone else
to do the job,
to put them in the family way outside the wedlock? Is that really what's going on?
Well, I do believe that as much as women are mostly found in these cases, men also have a role to play, right? We've seen so many men get married and hide the truth from their partner because, if if we're going to base it on religion, there are many people that would say, oh, there's no sex before marriage. And most men actually take advantage of that situation by saying, because there is no sex before marriage, they can as well hide these things, right? I think I've seen stories of whereby people are married for years, and the husband keeps saying, let's not go to the hospital, or they keep going to pastors, to pray for them, whereas the husband knows the truth that, oh, I can't actually conceive. And I think most of the times when this truth is actually revealed, the women have no other option, as a way of coping in that marriage. They have no other option but to go outside and to cheat and actually get pregnant. So I believe that both parties are actually involved in this case, and they need to have deeper conversations. They need to be truthful about it. To be honest, that's just all I can say.
Okay.
Yeah, there's another question for you, Sister Boluwatife. Now, from your counseling experience, how do revelations of paternity fraud affect not just couples, but the children caught in the middle?
Okay, so from my counseling experience, this has caused deep emotional damage, not just for the couple, but especially for the child that has been caught in the middle, right? For the husband, discovering that a child he thought was his own isn't biologically is often leads to intense betrayal, confusion, and heartbreak, right? Many men feel like their entire identity as a father was a lie. And because of this, some people may go silent, some people may walk away, some may even commit suicide, right? Some may even become emotionally or even physically abusive out of hurt, right? And it can be very traumatic for them. And as well for the wife, if she kept the truth hidden for years, guilt, shame and fear begin to consume her, especially when the truth is finally out. And even if she made the decision out of fear or desperation, I believe that the long-term consequences is very heavy, and in most cases, it destroys the trust in the marriage. But for the child, who is the one to suffer the most, right? Because their sense of identity is shaken. For a child, their sense of identity is created first, with their parents. And if that sense of identity is lost, it will destroy a lot of things for them. Some of them will grow up with low self-esteem. Some of them will grow up with various traumatic experiences because they don't know their identity. Their parents failed in telling them what their identity is, right? So some children may feel unwanted. Some children may blame themselves. Some children may become confused about who they are, and it would affect their future relationships. And also there's a thing about a repetitive pattern, because their parents fail to tell them this thing, and to take precautionary measures as to how it's not going to continue for generations to generations. It can actually occur again for that child, right? Because they find out that, oh, this is not my father. You ask them questions like, how many fathers do you have? And they really cannot even tell you who is their father or how many fathers they have. And because of this, they believe that, okay, this is what my parents have taught me to do. This is what my parents have taught me to
We have
believe.
another question just before you go.
Yeah.
Okay, with the report we have now, what do you think should be the practical steps that couples, faith leaders, policymakers, individuals can take to reduce the paternity fraud and rebuild trust in marriages?
Okay, so I believe that when couples have reached this stage, the first thing they need to do is seek professional help. Most people feel terrible when they get to this stage, right? And they feel like there's a need to conceal these things. There's a need to not tell people, or if I go to a premarital counseling, or if I go to a counselor, how am I going to be seen in front of them? Whereas these people have been trained, for this particular case, right? So it's important that they seek professional help, because that person's duty is to help them to solve this problem. And also another thing is important that they take the paternity tests and one another, and have an honest conversation as to whether they want to continue the marriage or not. Because you see, the thing about trust is that it's very hard to build. It takes two to actually rebuild that trust, and it takes years. But majority of the people are not willing to put in the work. Majority of people don't understand that marriage is a covenant. It's a lifelong commitment. If you're saying I do to someone today, it means that you want to spend the rest of your life with that person.
Yeah.
So I believe that professional help first, and then deep conversation on the matter would help.
Thank you, Sister Victoria Boluwatife. But let me say this: I am my father's child because my mother said so.